fer garmera sicraces en grofo crame cil iar pruicis la metravoa ar como shilchrem cela gredawe en ser fer computisau. Hey everybody, my name is Alex Sternick. I'm an international trainer of laughter therapy and world-renowned in my work with the art of nonsense, paradoxical interventions, and gibberish improvisation. I also was the first one to introduce the idea of laughter yoga in Israel. It was in the summer of 2004. And in this video today, I have this idea to explore more and to tell you more about the high values of this work with gibberish and therapeutic, why to apply ideas taken from the training or gibberish improvisation on stage and apply them in our lives, because it's very, very self-empowering. And I feel, because I meet many, many people in different constellations, that there is much confusion and misunderstanding of the why we should do gibberish and what is actually gibberish. Because there are many, many, many people who just do blah, blah, blah and do these exercises in laughter yoga workshops or in improvisation workshops and cannot benefit from the profound and deep values in this work. So this is for me very, very important to help you to understand why we do this and what is the result if we apply those ideas in our lives, in our personal lives. Of course, it can take many, many, many years because things are not fast. But even the word of gibberish, like the word laughter, may imply, this is not serious enough. It is just blah blah talking. It is just brabbeltal or kauderwelsch or gramelot. But there are many, many values and a lot of uses of this work. So it may help us to self-empower, to help us accept ourselves, to help us dedicate ourselves more to our needs and be more punctual and accurate in everything what we want. But first of all, I would like to be a testimonial before you. So I just don't want to speak only theory, because theory is nice, but the most important is to experience, to see it from the experiential level, not from the intellectual level. Before the year of 2003, the year that I met laughter yoga, I met the idea of laughter clubs in India, in Bangalore. It is 14 years plus back. I was a very, very obedient person in my life, in my childhood. And I never had the courage to say no. I was doing things against my truth, against my conviction, but out of fear. I remember I was in the army. I did things that I didn't want to do, but I've done that, and then my heart shrunk. This was something about myself. I was raised in a very, very traumatic family with a lot of health problems and was neglected by the society, by my peers. Also was beaten by children at my school. I was never accepted into this violent society. That time in Jerusalem, I am from Jerusalem, the city where also I opened the first laughter club in Jerusalem in June or July 2004, when I was back to Israel from Ethiopia and India. And my life was a disaster. I didn't have any person to mentor me, to help me, to add some confidence to my life. Nobody could guide me. And I didn't have friends at all. Of course, to say in other words, I was very, very miserable, and I never laughed in my life. Never. But I also didn't look for it because I said, this is life. It's normal to be miserable. Also, the situation in Israel, you walk in the street, and the faces you see, you don't see a very happy faces. I guess it's more or less in most of the places in the world in this modern time. So this was my life, and also I was exposed to very traumatic events in my life that usually a small child shouldn't see it. It's too early. But I saw a lot of sicknesses, a lot of illnesses, and it was very, very close to me. And all of this made me very, very obedient, with no axes, with no confidence, and I was afraid of myself. And of course, very, very sensitive when I was feeling that somebody is laughing on me, because I was also very weird. My physical appearance was very weird. And I come to parents that came from Russia. They were, my father sat in the prison in Siberia. Those people were also very, very not accepted into this Israeli society. So this is a little bit about my background. And in 2003, I was encountered as a butterfly effect event. I was encountered with laughter yoga in a bookshop in Bangalore, India. I used to live in Bangalore and volunteer at that time as a teacher for nutrition, clinical nutrition, because this is what I learned in university. And then in the book of Dr. Kataria, I read about gibberish. It was a very short paragraph that time. But I didn't know that after a few years, it will become my main purpose for living and my main mission in my life. There is nothing more precious in my life than to spread this idea and to help people to detach from their logic and from their old belief system. But we will come to it a little bit later. When I was back to Israel, and I'm making the whole story short because I won't tell you about my long story I passed in Ethiopia, as well as doing laughter yoga in the Mother Teresa Missionaries of Charity. I was back to Israel, established the first laughter club, and we also brought Madan Katara to Israel. And I'm very, very thankful to Madan because he helped me to find my own purpose for living via the laughter yoga, which was only my gateway. It was not the final aim to my work. And this is very, very important to see many encounters of us with different things, see them as a gateway. There is far more beyond that. In 2005-06, I started with gibberish workshops in Israel. They were quite technical. I learned many exercises, and I was doing it. In 2006, I was awarded as a gibberish man for the year of 2006 by Dr. Madan Katara in a laughter conference in Berlin, in Wannsee Lake. And then I understood that now my next mission will be to start and spread this idea in the world. I didn't know how it will happen and how many people I will have, how many countries I will be visiting, but I understood now this is my mission in life. I felt very, very punctual. I felt very, very accurate, if I can say that. Maybe this word in English is not right, but I'm very proud not to speak also the right English, because we also must be proud of our imperfections. Okay, this is also another very important value in this world. And I felt this will be my mission in life. Later on in 2009, I was invited by the Laughter Yoga of Germany to teach the first workshop of gibberish therapy, gibberish improvisation in Wiesbaden, Germany. And Michael Berger, the founder of the greatest museum in the world, the Harlequinau Museum, the Museum of Humor, he invited me and supported my work. And I started to teach in the world. I covered Germany and the Netherlands, and then I came few times to Austria and to Salzburg, and again Finland and the UK. I don't want to talk about it too much, but let's come now and ask why we need to do gibberish. Why it's so important to apply the ideas of nonsense. First of all, let's go back to my testimonial. With my childhood, which was very, very traumatic, depressed, okay, unhappy. Sounds very illogical that I will be covering 12 countries so far, teaching this and going in this way, because a person that has no self-confidence, with a very, very low self-esteem, how he can do it? Something should happen in between. Something should happen in his subconscious mind to be changed, isn't it? Because if the subconscious mind remains the same, very, very logical, you cannot do this. It is impossible. And of course, you believe to those people who tell you, you must leave this idea of teaching gibberish in the world. It's just gibberish. It's not serious. People will not listen to you. But I was very, very persistent and diligent, okay? And very, very patient in the process. And so far, I have managed to cover 12 countries. There are many countries where I taught 3, 4, or 5 times, over and over and over again. So this is something about myself. I contradicted, okay, my subconscious mind that was very, very obedient, very, very submissive, and very, very negative. And I think everybody can do this. I went outside, or I transcended beyond my own limits, my own logic, and I done that. And I am a testimonial that everything you want to achieve in your life, so far, it comes with your accurate purpose of living that is revealed to you, not by logic, not by intellectual analyzing, and not by thinking. It is revealed to you when you don't think, when you do things that involve no mind, and when you follow your purpose for living, no matter what you do. You're never in sin with yourself. You don't sin to yourself. You go on this accurate path of your mission in life. This is very, very important. And this is my mission, which is probably planned for me by the big universe or the big Chaplinesca of the world. And I feel, it's not that I must, but I feel in my body, with my intuition, that this is my mission. This work of nonsense, playing with nonsense, helped me to move out from this obedient mindset that the experts, okay, the people who learn in the university, the politicians, the people above, the people with titles, they know more what is right for me to do or not, what is right for my body or not. They know more about my health than myself, for example. And I understood it not intellectually. I understood it via the body sensations. It was imprinted very, very deep in the DNA. So I changed my subconscious mind, not in one day, not in 1 year. In 2005-06, I was doing gibberish improvisation. I was very good at it, but I was still with the old belief system. I was full of fears. I always wanted to laugh also when I felt sad. Even I didn't accept the fact that now I cannot laugh because I wanted to run away. Today it's different. When I wish to laugh, I laugh. When I feel today I don't want to laugh, I want to be sad, I accept myself, I don't run away. Because when you run away from your emotions, they stay with you forever. The depression stays, the sadness stays, okay, you never overcome it. But the real nature of all emotions that they are impermanent. They are coming and passing away, changing, changing. They are not permanent, but you must give a place to surrender to them. And this mindset you adopt when you practice gibberish exercises on stage. Because when you practice those exercises, and there are many, many exercises that we teach and we learn, it's not only one exercise to speak gibberish. There are plenty. But when you do it day after day, year after year, little by little, you start to feel that maybe your old belief system that was imposed for you, was imposed on you, sorry for my English, from childhood till now, it's not yours. You have enough courage to drop it, to uproot it, and to instill a new belief system, a new cassette. Your tape recorder is changed. So you change your belief system. You play here with your biology of belief. You change it. And because the nature of involving in the art of nonsense, in the gibberish exercises, when you play with nonsense on stage, when you improvise, you detach from your logic, which is not actually your logic, but it's the common sense of others. And who are those others? It's the society, it is the politics, it's the governments. It's about different paradigms and stigmas that we have learned from very, very early childhood, from the age of 5 or 6, when you first enter the school, and you adopted it as one absolute truth. Now it's the time to release all these dogmas, because they don't help us. And I always ask in different lectures I'm giving, in different courses, if your logical thought, belief system, your logical way of life haven't helped you so far, why you don't do something else? Why you don't contradict it? Okay? Then you can play with paradigms. You can play with all those nonsensical ideas that have been imposed on you. And you can instill a new ones. And this is very, very, very priceless. It's much beyond the fact that you can speak gibberish. To speak gibberish, it's the gateway. It is the gateway to free you, to set your mind free of logical understanding, linear understanding, and linear belief system. When I say linear, I mean a belief system and a way of thinking which is not yours. It's planned very nice in your left hemisphere, but your heart doesn't match it. Now, there are many, many people in the courses, and many, many people on different social media, on Facebook, that they want to impress me. You know what they do? It's very, very funny. They put their hands on the on the keyboard and they do like this, and they write me different letters, and they think this is gibberish. But friends, this is not gibberish. This is not what we are teaching. We are teaching not to stand out. If you speak gibberish, be there. Align with this feeling of being nonsensical to yourself. You can talk gibberish very, very slowly, and you don't need to stick out the fact, yeah, I'm doing gibberish. First, accept yourself. You want to say something, it doesn't need to be very, very fast. It can be something also very slow, with no exaggeration. So, think, you can speak gibberish in the street with a friend, and then the other people, they won't even think, or they won't sense the fact that you speak gibberish. They will try to guess. Maybe you speak Romanian, maybe you speak Italian, maybe you speak Icelandic, or maybe you speak Albanian. And this is the beauty. is being always yourself. Don't try to be someone who does gibberish. It doesn't work out. Then you run away from yourself. In the real acting, the people don't do rehearsals. They behave as they are. Okay? There is a very great film director called Abbas Kiarostami in Iran. And what I like about this film director, that most of the films he did, he used people from the street. So you don't need to teach them. They can act in films authentically. Okay? The same I teach in my courses. Speak gibberish, be yourself. Separate the word from the next word. Okay? So it sounds like a real language. It sounds like a real jargon. Okay? You don't need to run away to say blah, 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 blah. This is not gibberish. Of course, it is on the way, but this is not what I'm teaching. Okay? Instead of that, you can say something like Argussa purkfer, igra mechalken strak, je praikufelems, sikombrukitis krans, grahopel ashpnai. Well, good for ma. You can do it very, very slowly, okay? So then you can also enjoy the process, okay? And no need to stick out, no need to stand out. Be yourself, okay? This idea is very, very similar to what the big teacher of improvisation theater, Keith Johnston, he always teaches it in his courses. Always be yourself. Don't act out. Don't try to be the best even. Don't do your best, okay? So this is something I would like to tell you and to ask you. Be yourself. Be faithful to yourself, okay? Feel it. And then there is no need to act. The next thing that I'm teaching is improvisational skills. You know, what is the difference between planned acting and improvisation? In planned acting, you must do rehearsals. You always try to do your best on stage, because otherwise the director will say we have to take another shoot, okay? You cannot do mistakes. You can't have any mistakes. You aspire to perfection. What we are saying in the art of nonsense, anything goes. You can say anything without thinking. You don't need to plan what to say next, because you can do all the mistakes. That's a wonderful idea, because we have been learned, we have been trained, we have been disciplined to be perfect in our life. It is such a shame to have a mistake in life. Always when I go to my work, I must be exactly on 8 o'clock. And if I'm coming 8 and 4 minutes, I become my own inner censor. And this is accompanying me through my life. I am the inner censor of myself. And here, you have a stage to be imperfect. Do all the mistakes you want. Say anything you want. And anything goes. And what is this anything goes? What we learn from the anything goes. What we do on stage, of course. There is a reflection to real life. Because our real life, what happens in the big universe, in this big planet, it's not according to man's logic. It is something chaotic, you know? In one day, a big tsunami can happen, okay? A big earthquake that couldn't have been predicted even by the biggest scientist, okay? A big terror attack can happen. Negative thing or positive thing. You can win in a lottery in 1 second, or if you have a big house, you can lose it in 1 second. It is something not logical. but we take it too seriously because we are so addicted and conditioned that the real life, this existential theater of absurd, will be logical to us. But it's not. This big universe, this big world is a big giggle. It's a big joke. It's a big Chaplinesque. Chaplinesque from the word Charlie Chaplin, okay? But in our logic, we cannot grasp it. We cannot perceive it. That's why, because we pass through these tsunamis on a big scale or on a lower scale, but we become miserable, disappointed, unhappy. This is one thing. We don't accept the imperfection of the world. We don't accept the surprise. We don't accept this basic law of anything goes in this world. But when we do the gibberish, little by little, not in one day, we understand that life is not logical, and it helps us to be more prepared to the fact that one day our plans will not come through. Our plans will be disrupted by a bigger power beyond our capacity. Okay? Call it as you want. Call it God if you wish. Call it universe, or call it existence. It doesn't matter. But one day we will be shocked. One day we plan and God will be laughing on you. And as Voltaire said, God is a comedian playing to an audience too afraid of laughing. But always we have the freedom of choice in any set of circumstances to take our understanding, to take our freedom of choice, not to be condemned, not to be conditioned. And yet, despite this existential theater of absurd, despite the crisis, despite the tsunami that we encounter from time to time, not every day, we have this freedom of choice to choose our attitude and to be always aligned with one thing in our life: purpose for living, sense of life, meaning in life. There is only one meaning in our lives, that we must fulfill it in order to feel contented. Okay? So here we see how by paradoxical tools, or I call it paradoxical interventions. You see, gibberish is one of the paradoxical interventions. It helps us later on to achieve our meaning. How through the meaninglessness we reach the meaning in our life. You see the paradox here. It's the same like the paradox in the world. Okay? So this is something that I'm trying in these 3 days. And those 3 days are very short because I have to pass through many different installations. We have installation, therapeutic installations, of course. We have exercises. We have open improv exercises, and we have warming up. You see, I said it backwards. I like to go backwards, not to go forward. You see, I contradict something here. So this is what I'm trying to come with the message. Life is paradoxical, okay? But you can't accept it via your intellectual understanding and capacity. It's not enough. Because you can accept it, but inside you, your subconscious mind say, no. I want to be linear. I want to be logical. This is not logical. No. I want you from your DNA, from the deepest level in your cells, to understand how much this life is unlogical. Okay? There is something here which is laughing. But it's not about aerobic laughter like in laughter yoga. It's much deeper. This world is a big giggle. The world is laughing because it's not linear. The world have no rules. Okay? There are some rules, of course, law of nature. But this law of nature, sometimes it's beyond our understanding, beyond our intellectual capacity. Of course, there is a punctual law, the law of nature. But our laws that we imprinted them, okay, previously, they are not coming with nature. They are human, okay? They are ideas of somebody else, all those rules and laws. And sometimes we believe in them blindly. But when we surrender to the law of nature, and it means also to the tsunamis and to crises that the world brings us from time to time. And please don't get me wrong, tsunamis are a big blessing. A cancer can be a big blessing, for example, because a person who having a cancer can move from idea of not accepting himself and not accepting of the cancer to the self-acceptance. Wow, this cancer is the best gift that I've got. And when you do this shift in your mind, then this big tsunami, the power of this tsunami on you is melting away, okay? This big lion the big lion in the jungle becomes a baby cat. It loses its power upon you. And when you are in peace with something and you stop fighting against, because the logical idea is to fight against the negative things. But believe me, nobody wins in any fight. Nobody won in any war. If you fight against the car accidents, you're not going to combat them. They will stay forever. So there is something which is shifting your mindset from fighting to acceptance, to surrendering. So if somebody has a cancer and he accepts his cancer as a best friend, and then he can heal himself. Now I don't want to discuss how, but the cancer becomes less traumatic word because you change your mindset. You change your belief system towards the word cancer. So here gibberish can help you to detach from your addictive logical mindset. This is something which is very, very important. It is priceless. It is a very, very long-term aim of anyone. And I wish to anyone in this planet to get out from all your old belief system. Because I've done it and I'm so thankful for it. It was beyond of any price. Okay? It's something amazing. I cannot compare myself as Alex Sternick of 2017 and Alex Sternick of 1996. It's the different Alex Sternick. It's the same face, the same flesh, but different belief system. And that Alex Sternick was condemned to depression and condemned to traumas. Now, I mentioned about imperfectionism, failure, weakness. The idea in this training is not only do all the exercises, we are talking language that has no meaning, okay? Because gibberish, people think it's a language that has no meaning, or it's a language that has no logical context behind. They are both true, of course, but we also want to allow ourselves to accept our different characteristics that we are carrying, and we don't like them, to accept them as they are and to play with them on the stage. So when I play with them, when I accept it and I juggle with my imperfections, of course, we can choose different issues in our past life. We can choose different narratives from our past life. And we become a protagonist. We become protagonist on stage to act and to play with those narratives in a very humorous way. It doesn't need to be gibberish. But the idea is to show off to others, to show off to yourself that you are weak, that you are imperfect, that you have this addiction or that addiction, that you wanted to tell something to somebody 10 years ago, but that time you didn't have the courage to say. But now you have this opportunity to say to someone, okay? So we focus on self-acceptance. Okay? You have the chance here to accept yourself, because in life, to self-accept is a paradox. Mostly we have such a deep hatred towards ourselves, such a big censorship towards ourselves. That's why we also hate the others. That's why we always compete with others, okay? Because we compete with ourselves, okay? We don't accept ourselves, so we don't accept them. We always blame them because we blame the others. Can you see the link here? And in those courses, we have a full day, one day only to deal with therapeutic application of the working with nonsense and with paradox. Okay? In Germany, this idea was practiced by Dr. Michael Tietze and was called humor drama. How you take something which is very, very serious, you even exaggerate it in a way. Okay? You exaggerate it on stage. And while exaggerating, you accept yourself. And when you accept yourself, you add humor. And when you add humor, you take a step out of the problem. Then, when you take a step out, then you can laugh on everything. And now we are not looking for solutions. Solutions will come one day, not from thinking. We never think of solutions to our problems. Solutions will be revealed to us with no effort. Now, this is the mindset that little by little, from now onwards in our life, we are going to adopt. Okay? We will be doing all the gibberish exercises. And there are many. 30, 40. I don't count now, not important. But this mindset of, I know that there is something beyond my logic. I know that there is something misunderstandable for me, that I cannot understand it at this moment. But there is something beyond myself. And when I know this, little by little, I surrender to this unlinear or existential behavior of this world towards myself. I even see the bad things as the good things. And today, for most of us, when bad things happen to us, we blame the others, we blame the world, we blame something. We can't see that it's a clue for us to self-empower or to get rid of something, okay? But when we accept it, then we can play with it. Also, we can be miserable for a while, it's okay. But we accept that we are miserable. And when we accept, then we play. We are not the victims of the misery. We are not the victims. We become the observers. And when we are observers, then we are laughing. Now, because I'm coming from the laughter movement, from laughter therapy, as I said, my first hat that time was laughter yoga. It was the first technique that I met in my life. But aerobic laughter or physical laughter, it's just the gateway. And I always tell it to my laughter yoga students, because it is good, do it. It is important to laugh. It is important every day or most of the days to laugh. If you're not in crisis, if you're in crisis, don't laugh. I tell you, don't laugh. Accept you're in crisis and wait till your emotion will be different. Then you can laugh. But laughter has another very important interpretation. In my language, in Hebrew, laughter means to go out or go beyond of our laws and rules. Okay? It means not to be obedient. People who are always into rules, how they can laugh? Okay? They can laugh only physically. But inside, the rules are controlling us. There is always fear. Oh, wow, I'm not obedient to these rules. Wow, I'm not fulfilling the rules. Yes, I must be on time, on time, on time. Yeah. And if I'm not on time, what will happen? This is going to happen. That if I'm not going to doctor, if I'm not taking this medicine, this is going to happen. And that's going, and I know what is going to be, and blah blah blah. And all this turbulent mind is coming. Okay. The existential, the deepest understanding of laughter is to laugh from our DNA level, from the deepest layers in our body and spirit. Okay, it's not aerobical. It's to go beyond our laws and rules. And when we go beyond, we can contradict them. So if there is something that I didn't dare to do so far, now I have the power to contradict myself. Okay? If in the past I thought I cannot be self-employed because this and that and that and this and brukash brakachukuleme brakis krachtes kromper freme gra. Now I have the conviction I'm going to be on my own. I'm going to be self-employed, self-contented, not conditioned by others if they are going to pay me the salary or not. I will create my job. So I'm going to improvise. And when I improvise, I laugh because I get beyond my old belief system, my rules and my laws that I was in such deep belief in that. Okay, this is very, very important. And these convictions we cannot without drugs. We must take drugs from time to time, or the medicines. So also with this conviction, you can contradict your own belief system and say, I want to see what will happen if now for 2 years I stop those medicines. Of course, do it gradually and with your physician. Okay? I don't tell you now stop everything in one minute. But you can contradict yourself. You can emerge out from your belief system, your old belief system, and you do something new, something else. And when you contradict yourself, you feel such happiness, such self-contentment. You say, wow, I've done it, I did it. Wow, I did something that I couldn't believe I can do. And we can go on different examples. For me, Alex Sternick, I was condemned to be a nutritionist because I learned it in the university. But I managed to find the way where I can feel contented and happy with what I'm doing because I fulfill my purpose for living, to help others to emerge out from this logical turbulence, from this swirling in this left hemisphere, from the old belief system. And I'm speaking only from my own experience. If I had a very happy childhood, like childhood that nothing really happens to you, maybe I wouldn't look for it. I would be like average person because most of the people, they follow the conventions. But I decided, and there is a price I pay. I decided to be punctual, to live only according to my convictions, only according to what I am feeling in my body, in my sensations, to my intuition. What feels to me wrong, I'm not doing it. And you try to convince me intellectually, and still I will not do it. Because via intellect you cannot do anything. You only can come into a fight, a struggle on your place in this world. Okay? So it is very, very important to be yourself, to follow your own certainties, your own convictions. Okay? And your own convictions will be revealed to you not via the mind, but via the no mind. When you learn to dedicate to yourself, to dedicate to your needs, If you take 45 minutes a day and you meditate, you observe your sensations, you are now in dedication. In time of meditation and observing the body sensation, things can be revealed to you, will be channeled to you. And this, here there is no lie. Everything you think for mind, in 80-90% it's a big lie. You become sinful to yourself. Okay? But here the idea of the exercises in the workshop, in the training, is to help you to detach more, to unlock, okay? To go beyond your left hemisphere of the brain, to go more into your right hemisphere, the same hemisphere that boosts up your creativity, your intuition, your improvisational skills. This is important. And not only improvisation on stage, but improvisation in life, because life is so unlinear. So you must improvise. If this doesn't work out, you try this one. If that doesn't work out for you, you try the new direction till something is going to work out for you. And here you get those tools from this training. This is important. It's not only to speak gibberish. I always tell to my students, speak gibberish is the technique. To speak gibberish in laughter yoga workshop, it's a technique. It's just 1% of the essence. But what is important? Be yourself. Be authentic. Live out of improvisation. And be patient. Don't hurry up. I told in the beginning, when you speak gibberish, Kraike, laber fraku mucha, chlamosope, kelta. Take time, dedicate. Each word is a different entity. The same in life. Never hurry up. Never hurry up to the solutions. Never hurry up to the conclusions. Everything will be revealed to you, little by little, step by step. But to do this in life, you should apply first something on stage. You should apply it in the workshop with me, or in your own workshop that you facilitate your own gibberish improvisation workshops. And then, little by little, the reflection of this idea will come to your life. This is important. Then you become more improvisational. You become the actor or the cabinet of your lives, not the victim. You have your axis. You have your spinal cord behind you. You are assertive. You can say no, which means to say yes to you. Okay, if you don't agree something and you analyze intellectually, say, yeah, maybe I will compromise. And you compromise and then your heart shrinks because you are in full sin to yourself. Never compromise in your life. Compromise is it's not the golden rule. Compromise, it's not hot and it's not cold. It's in between. But it's not punctual. Always be accurate with what you want. Be in accuracy with yourself. And this is not something from the intellect. It's from the body sensation. So here, in the training, I'm going to explore more about it. So we can go deep and deep and deep into it. Of course, also we have exercises where we also play the buffon. We play the joker from the tarot pack. Of course, we do silly things. We do faces. We have them. I'm not trying to tell you, yes, everything is such a serious thing in this gibberish workshop. It's not. In the certification programs, it's not. But also we work a lot about self-acceptance. And if we are serious, first we exaggerate it. Okay? So then it becomes humorous. So we combine seriousness, a little bit of silliness. Then it becomes comic. So I hope I could clarify a little bit from my own conviction why I'm doing it. And I wish that we have more and more people in this universe that they live not in order to please the others or to meet the standards of others, because this is about pleasing and not about being yourself. But more people will be living authentically. Also in your job, you only work in something that brings you joy and happiness and contentment. And if there is something that you go every morning to do these tasks, this job, and you feel in your heart it shrinks, it's squeezing, and you don't leave it. So you're most welcome to observe the situation again. It's not easy to work to leave your workplace, because you should have some livelihood to pay your bills. But when you have more improvisational skills in your life, then you can improvise. And you know something? It reminds me what happens in India. India, it's the motherland of improvisation and dance. It's a very, very laughing and funny country. And it's a country where people invent their jobs. Everybody, even if he's not employed by the government, he can invent his own work. And it's so funny to see. Sometimes you go in the bus, in the train, and somebody comes and trying to sell you some combs, okay? Or try to sell some funny items, okay? But everybody can find his own job. So you go in the country and nobody is dying out of hunger. Nobody is on the street dying. Because if you really want, you can improvise for you what is best for you and do something. But it requires the courage to be ridiculous. It requires this courage to be paralogical, to go out of this addiction of being always logical, okay? But when you do it, you take a step out of yourself. You see yourself from a different angle, okay? And then you adapt improvisation. So in this work, Gibberish improvisation, we deal with improvisation, but we call it applied improvisation. From on stage, okay, from the theater stage to real life. Then we have the paradoxical interventions, because we want to change our lives. We want to change it from within, from deep, okay? And then we have all this art of nonsense. We see nonsense as art, okay? We learn how to play and to juggle, okay, with the no logic in life. To juggle it, not to try to force the universe to be logical. We can't. But we can to choose our attitude in any given set of circumstances. This is our freedom of choice, as Viktor Frankl once advocated us about it. Choose your attitude, okay? Go with your meaning in life. Go with it. Don't compromise on it, okay? But first, apply different techniques. It can be gibberish, it can be something else, okay? But do it first technically, and then little by little it will be imprinted in your subconscious mind. So I'm going to finish this video, and more of course you can ask me or you can attend any course. I'm not going to show you now my website and my address, because I wish to provoke you to go out of your comfortability zone, and if you really want, you search for this work. So I'm not going to feed you with a spoon, because I want to do what I feel and not what the marketing world is dictating us. Because everybody today think, yes, I have to market, I have to post this and this on Facebook that everybody will see who I am. No, your existence, your being is not conditioned by marketing, by Facebook, and by how many clients you have, or by how many clients put like for you. You are good as you are. So if you really want, if you feel it is relevant for you, so of course you find your way to reach it, to search for it, to deepen. And of course I'm happy to help with more links. There are plenty of videos from different courses in different countries, 12 countries in the world so far on 3 continents. And I wish you a fulfilled life fulfilled with FOOL or FULL, both of them, much acceptance, self-acceptance, self-assertiveness, and of course, do everything from the joie de vivre. Don't fake anything, don't force anything, always choose. But choose because you can choose, because you have this freedom, and never condemn yourself. I am Alex Sternick, international trainer of laughter therapy and world renowned in the art of nonsense, playing with nonsense, paradoxical interventions, and gibberish. A clinical nutritionist in my background, which also there is nutrition for body and there is also nutrition for soul and for spirit, which I find maybe a little more important, okay? And I wish you a nice day, a nice week. May the farce will be always with you and with us. Us with A and us with you. Scalciopil e grakel al freikere moses Gucci palki finkel in the breke ferer sikoful shampocel capoton secrat.